शुक्लांबरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। योगेन चित्तस्य पदेन वाचां मलं शरीरस्य च वैद्यकेन योपाकरोत्तं प्रवरं मुनीनां पतञ्जलिं प्राञ्जलिरानतोऽस्मि। ॐ। Dear friends, welcome to the study of the Yoga Sutras. We were seeing the 23rd Sutra of second Pada. Second Pada is Sadhana Pada. In that, this 23rd Sutra, that is Swaswami Shaktyo Swarupopalabdhi Hetuhu Sanyogaha. That is what we were seeing. Swaswami Shaktyo Swarupa Upalabdhi Hetuhu Sanyogaha. We know that there is this contact between this Prakriti and the Purusha. And it is because of the contact between the Prakriti and Purusha that this Purusha is able to know his nature, that realize his own nature. So it is a sort of blessing in disguise. This Purusha who is totally bound in Prakriti, bound with the Prakriti. So this Sanyoga, that Sanyoga itself, it is the cause. Without Sanyoga, the Purusha also will not be able to know. Because without Sanyoga, Purusha is of the nature of pure consciousness. There is no question of knowing anything. So because of this Sanyoga, Purusha is able to know about his nature. Prakriti is something, Prakriti of course doesn't know itself because Prakriti is Jadam. He knows the different distinction between Prakriti and Purusha, and Prakriti stays apart, totally stays apart. So that is what that is the sutra we were seeing. And in the middle, there was a discussion about avidya. And what is this adarshanam? Kinchedam adarshanam nama. And various alternatives were being proposed by various people because avidya, many people have understood it in many ways. So all those alternatives have been were being shown by this commentator Vyasa, and we were seeing those say alternatives. I will now share the screen, and we'll just start from where we stopped. I think you are able to see this red mark. Ubhayasya Pyadarshanam Dharma Ityeke. So we stopped here. So that is why I put the red mark here. So earlier we have seen that the people were commenting, oh, this is what is the ignorance, something else, somebody else gave some other say proposition. So now Darshana Shaktireva, Adarshana Nityeke, the very fact that you are seeing so many things, and the Pradhana, the very purpose of Pradhana is to reveal itself. So that is what is Avidya. Then so like that various alternatives were being shown. Ubhayasya Pyadarshanam Dharma Ityeke. Ubhaya ityukte, Ubhaya means that is both Prakriti and Purusha. And this Adarshanam, this ignorance, Adarshanam is not having that vision. Darshanam is knowledge. Adarshanam is lack of knowledge, that is ignorance. Lack of knowledge of what? That is Viveka Khyati. Lack of knowledge of, that is the discrimination between the Purusha and Prakriti. So, Ubhayasyapi Adarshanam Dharma iti eke. Some people they say that the Adarshanam, ignorance, is something which is belonging to both. How? Tatra idam drusyasya swatma bhutamapi Purusha pratyayapeksham darshanam. Drushya darshanam drushya dharmatvena bhavati. Idam refers to, we are now talking about this adarshanam. This idam adarshanam Drushyasya swatma bhutamapi. Drishyam is what? Buddhi. Drishyam is buddhi. Drishyam not only the whole world, Drishyam is also the buddhi. Because buddhi, the body-mind complex, the entire whole body-mind complex is Drishyam. So Drishyasya swatma bhutamapi. Though it is the very nature of this Drishyam, this ignorance, though it is the very nature of Drishyam, why? Because it is insentient. Because anything that is insentient, it does not know itself, it does not see others. Swatma bhutamapi Purusha pratyaya peksham darshanam. So there is a darshanam. Even for this buddhi, there is what is called darshanam. Because of Purusha pratyaya peksham. That is contingent on the reflection of consciousness in it. Contingent on the reflection of consciousness in buddhi. Buddhi appears as though it is intelligent. And that drushya dharmatvena bhavati. So drushya darshanam drushya dharmatvena bhavati. So this darshanam is looking like drushya dharma. That it is looking as though it is the property of the drishyam. Just see the anvaya properly. Idam we are referring to adarshanam, this ignorance. Drishyasya swatma bhutamapi, though it is the very nature of this drishyam. Purusha pratyayapeksham darshanam, that is, it also is having some darshanam because of the reflection of the consciousness in it. And that is looking as though it is the drishya dharma. It is the intelligence as though it is the drishya dharma. Drishya dharmatvena bhavati. So let us see the translation. Though this ignorance is the nature of the knowable, drishyam is knowable. Though this drishyam is the nature of the knowable, knowledge appears to happen because of the reflection of consciousness. So it then appears as the property of buddhi. Knowledge appears as the property of buddhi, but it is not correct. Then similarly, tatha means similarly, purushasya anatma bhutamapi. This adarshanam, we are now talking about the adarshanam with the point here. This adarshanam, purushasya anatma bhutamapi, though it is not the nature of purusha. Adarshanam, ignorance is not the nature of purusha, but still drusya pratyayapeksham, without that drusya, when there is, in the last class also we were seeing that it is only when the pradhana evolves, it is only after evolution that the purusha is able to see it. Before evolution, the pradhana is avyakta. So that from in that avyakta state, there is no question of knowledge. There is no question of seeing. So this seeing appears only when something comes into existence. So that appears as a sort of mirror for that purusha. So purushasya anatma bhutamapi, though it is not the original nature, though it is not the nature of that purusha, drusya pratyayapeksham, that is because of that, it actually needs, or it is contingent on the presence of the buddhi. It is contingent on the presence of this external universe. It needs a buddhi. It needs a buddhi as a sort of medium in order to know itself. Drusya pratyayapeksham, purusha dharmatvena adarshanam avabhasate. So this sort of ignorance appears to be as though it is the nature of purusha. This adarshanam avabhasate. Avabhasate means it appears. It is not the reality. Avabhasate. It only appears. So let me read the translation. So similarly, though ignorance is not the nature of purusha, it needs buddhi as medium in order to attain knowledge. It needs buddhi as a medium. So that is what he says. Tatha purushasya anatma bhutamapi drusya pratyaya apeksham. So this knowledge of drusya is very much needed. Apeksha means it is a prerequisite. So that drusya pratyaya apeksham, purusha dharmatvena adarshanam avabhasate. And this adarshanam appears as though it is the purusha dharma. Purusha dharmatvena avabhasate. It appears. So this is what some people say. And finally somebody says, this is the last alternative. Darshanam jnanameva adarshana kechit abhidadhati. Kechit abhidadhati means they say. What do they say? Darshanam jnanameva adarshanam iti. So the very fact of seeing the external world itself is ignorance. In fact, it is also true because almost all the contentions, all the 8 alternatives, there is some truth in that. So that is why he has not totally rejected anything, but he is accepting one particular alternative, which is more, closer to truth, and then which is more convincing. So darshanam jnanameva adarsanamiti kechit abhidadhati. That is, they say that knowledge of objects by senses and mind, that itself is ignorance. Because senses and this mind, they have got a limited scope of perception. Because my sense, the sense of sight, cannot know the smell. My sense of smell does not know the sight. And not only that, we have got very limited, even our senses, they do have some limited powers. That is, my sense, my sense of sight has got, it can only see a particular bandwidth of light. So I think I was referring to this last time also. And Shankaracharya says this in a very beautiful shloka. Nana Chidra Ghatodara Sthita Mahadeepa Prabhavaswaram. That very famous shloka in that Manisha, that thing. Is it Manisha Panchakam? Pancham? Nana Chidra Ghatodara Sthita Mahadeepa Prabhavaswaram. Jnanam Yatratu Chachuradi Karanadwara Bhispandate Janamiti. I don't remember the full shloka. There it comes. You see, you visualize a pot which is kept upside down, and the pot has got some holes, and then inside there is a very brilliant light. But then through these poles and through these holes, some little bit of light is coming out. And then these holes are like our indriyas. We are seeing some little bit of light and we think that this is all the knowledge. Whereas if you break this part, you have got this pure light, which is infinite light, infinite consciousness. So that is a wonderful metaphor which is given to show the limitations of our knowledge, whatever human knowledge we talk about, our limitations, there are so many limitations to our human knowledge. So that is what that particular shloka says. So here also, that is why na darshanam jnanameva adarshanam. Seeing the external world itself is adarshanam. Iti eke. Ityete shastragata vikalpaha. So like this, there are so many vikalpaha, alternatives proposed by various shastragata. Shastragata means in the shastra. They are existing in shastra. These are so many vikalpas existing, such manifold alternatives, they exist in the shastras. Tatra vikalpa bahutvam etat sarva purushanam gunanam sanyoge sadharana vishayam. So in all these alternatives, there is one sadharana vishayam. What is that? Sarva purushanam gunanam sanyoge. Sarva purushanam means Sankhya, we know that Sankhya Siddhanta talks about several Purushas, not one Ekatma. It is not Ekatmavada. It talks about so many Purushas. And these so many Purushas, they have got their gunas, Sanyoga with these gunas. Purusha on one hand and the guna. Guna means Prakriti on one hand. So there is this Prakriti and Purusha Sanyoga. That is a common Vishaya. Purusha Vikal, Tatra Vikalpa Bhavutvam Etat Sarva Purushanam Gunanam Sanyoge Sadharana Vishayam. So the one common factor is that all the people, they say that the Purusha, all these Purushas, they do have contact with the Gunas. Such manifold alternatives, they have a common point that all the Purushas have contact with the Gunas for realization of their nature. That is also there. It is a sort of blessing in disguise. So this sort of Sanyoga, this sort of contact, as we are talking about, it is a sort of blessing in disguise because of that the Purusha is realizing. Then we come to the next sutra. Yastu pratyak chetanasya swa buddhi sanyogaha. That pratyak chetana is whatever is that indwelling consciousness. Or in Vedanta, one Swamiji says individuated consciousness. That word is used by one Swamiji called Venkateshananda in his wonderful book, Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, Yoga Sutras of, not Patanjali, sorry, Vasishta's Yoga Vasishta. For that entire Yoga Vasishta, the whole text, the entire Yoga Vasishta is translated into English by one very good, very well-known Swami Venkateshananda. And it's in beautiful English. It was published by the New York University Press. You can get it on the Amazon also. That is the Yoga of Vasishta by Venkateshananda. So he uses that word, individuated consciousness. So something like that. That is pratyak. Pratyak means something which is inside. Pratyak chetanasya swabuddhi sanyoga. This pratyak chetana is the jiva. In other words, in Vedanta we call it jiva. Of that indwelling consciousness, the contact with the buddhi is due to what? Tasya hetuhu avidya. Avidya is the hetu because of the ignorance. And earlier sutra was proposing that there is something called avidya. Now that avidya is being identified as the hetu, that is the cause for the contact between the prakriti and the purusha. Tasya hetuhu, tasya means of that contact, of that bondage. Contact is bondage. Of that bondage, the hetu, the cause is avidya. Then what does it mean? Viparyaya jnana vasana ityarthaha. Now, of course, here the commentators, they have pointed out that this is the fourth alternative which was shown by in the earlier sutra. In the earlier sutra, there were 8 alternatives. Among the 8 alternatives, there was one alternative. That is the fourth alternative. I think we need not go back to it again, or briefly we can go back. Fourth alternative, is it something which got resolved in pralaya, which got resolved along with the mind and has formed the seed for the origin of its own mind? Because every Purusha has his own mind. Because every Purusha Bahutvam, as we say, Jiva. In Vedanta we call it Jiva, here we are calling it Purusha. So every Jiva has its own mind. But the difference between Sankhya and Vedanta, this Vedanta a little later. But at this particular point, both, whether you call it Jiva or Purusha, each Jiva has his own mind because the mind is the thing which is the repository or which is the storehouse of all the vasanas, of all the impressions. So all these impressions, that baggage is there, papa, punya, the entire baggage is there. That whole baggage you are carrying from jiva, from body to body, you carry it. So and when at the time of pralaya, what happens? At the time of pralaya, it again resolves in that pradhana. In that pradhana, it is there resolved and it is available in that seed form. So here the difference between Sankhya and Vedanta is that in Vedanta, consciousness is always present there, everywhere it is there. But here, the Sankhya Siddhanta says that contact between, say, this Prakriti and Purusha is not there. Prakriti, that is Buddhi, is just available separate. It is not having contact with the Jiva at that time. It is not having contact with Purusha at that time. That we are going to see in another sutra. So there is a slight difference in, here at the time of Pralaya. But here, at the time of Pralaya, what happens? So this Jiva, it resolves into the Prakriti in a seed form, or rather Buddhi. It is there present or latent in that Prakriti or Pradhanam in a seed form. And again it manifests. And again it gets connected with its own unique individuated consciousness, unique Buddhi. Unique Purusha. So that Purusha and Prakriti, they are like husband and wife for generations and generations, and maybe till the fellow gets realization. So till the fellows get realization, till the Purusha attains realization, that continues to be there. So along with the mind, and has formed the seed for the origin of its own mind. So this is the fourth alternative. So this fourth alternative is being elaborated. So that is what this Vajaspati Mishra says. Vajaspati Mishra in his commentary, he says that Chaturtham Vikalpam Nirdharayitum Sutram Avadharayati, he says. Chaturtham Vikalpam Nirdharayitum. In order to confirm the fourth Vikalpa, the sutra is being proposed. So that is what he says. So we know that Vajaspati Mishra is the sub-commentator on Vyasa's commentary. So tasya hetuhu avidya. What does he say? Viparyeya jnana vasana ityarthaha. What is this Viparyeya jnanam? Viparyeya jnanam we have seen. That is mithya jnana, viparyeyo mithya jnana atadrupa pratishtham. That is what one of the original initial sutras which we studied. So Viparyeya jnanam is that false knowledge. It is not the absence of knowledge, but it is false knowledge. Viparyeya jnana vasana. That is the samskaras, or the latent impressions of false knowledge, which are stored in the pradhanam at the time of resolution of the universe, let us say. At the time of resolution of the entire universe, Mahapralaya, Pralaya as we call it, at the time of Pralaya. So all these things, they are resolved, and then they are there in the seed form. What happens to them? Again, along with all the vasanas, again it comes up. So Viparyeya jnana vasana ityartha. Viparyeya jnana vasana vasita cha karyanishtham purushakhyatim buddhihi na karyanishtham purushakhyatim buddhi prapnoti. Buddhihi na prapnoti. That is Dhanvaya. This buddhi will not attain this karyanishta. Karyanishta is its basic mission. It is basic mission in purpose in existence. Karyanishta. Nishta, that is the basic objective. What is that basic objective? Purushakhyati. Karyanishtham purushakhyatim buddhihi na prapnoti. That is Dhanvaya. Karyanishtham purushakhyatim. This objective called purusakhyati is not attained by this buddhi. So that is Dhanvaya. So viparyeya jnana vasana vasitacha. So because it is imbued with the viparyeya jnana, it is imbued with the latent impressions of the vasanas of that false knowledge. Imbued with vasana vasita. You know, we are familiar with these two terms, vasana vasita. Vasanad vasudevasya vasitante jagatrayam. We know that shloka. Vasanad vasudevasya is, and there of course is not in this sense. Vasanad vasudevasya means vasanti jaganti asminniti vasudevaha. Athava vasuhu sarveshu vasati iti vasuhu. That is the meaning there. In that sense, vasana is abiding in all the things. So here vasana is slightly different sense. So vasana vasitacha, that is imbued with that false knowledge, imbued with the latent impressions of false knowledge. The buddhi cannot attain the objective of attaining the knowledge of Purusha. Aryanishtam Purushakyatim buddhi na prapnoti. And then what happens then? Because it has not attained this knowledge, sadhikara punaravartate. Sadhikara means with all its latent powers, with all its latent powers, with all its latent potential, that is, gunas are there. When the gunas are there, the gunas, they have got their own potential. And with that entire potential, it punaravartate. It comes back. Comes back to where? Comes back to samsara, to this transmigration. Then, and hence returns with full potential. Sadhikara. Sadhikara means with all full propensity, with all full energy for further action because of this gunas, guna karma, for the guna karmas. Then tu means on the other hand, satu purushakyadi paryavasanam karyanishtam prapnoti. Yada, of course, yada could have been there, but we have to presume it. But when this sa means buddhi, sa buddhi, purushakyadi paryavasanam karyanishtam prapnoti, when it attains this karyanishta, the objective of purushakyati. Purushakyati is the paryavasana, that is the final limit. Till that time, the man, the jiva, that is Purusha Prakriti combination, it keeps on, husband and wife for millions of lives. They are there, Purusha and Prakriti, till this Purusha Khyadi is there. Once the Purusha Khyadi comes, then it gets resolved. Purusha remains as pure Purusha and Prakriti also remains as pure Prakriti. So Purusha Khyati Paryavasana. Paryavasana means it ends there. Avasana is ending. Paryavasana, Purushakya, with that Purushakyati that ends, Karyanishtam Prapnoti. Then Charita Adhikara, its purpose is over. Charita Adhikara, its purpose is over. Then Nivrutta Adarshana, that ignorance is Nivrutta, it is totally gone. Then Bandhakarana Abhavat, that Adarshanam was the Bandhakarana. Adarshanam, that is Avidya, is the Bandhakaranam, the cause for bondage. Bandhakarana abhavat, because of the disappearance of this bond, the cause of bondage. Bandhakarana abhavat means because of the disappearance of, abhava is disappearance or absence of the cause for bandha, na punaravartate, it doesn't return. What? The buddhi it does not return. That buddhi remains as pure prakriti. When that buddhi attains the objective of gaining the knowledge of Purusha, it has fulfilled its potential, got rid of ignorance, and because the cause of bondage has disappeared, it does not return. But in Vedanta, we say that as part of the subtle body, it merges into the elements. As part of this, because when the person gets, when we say that a person has become a jnani, so till the time he is alive, that is Jivan Mukta, the moment a person gets jnanam, he doesn't die, he remains, he is a Jivan Mukta. But when he dies, that Videha Kaivalyam, at that time what happens? At that time that Deha, whatever Linga Sharira is there, that Linga Sharira dissolves into elements, so 5 elements. So that is Videha, Vigataha Deha. So that Deha, that Stula Deha, Sukshma Deha, that Sukshma Deha disappears. Then Atra Kasyit Shandakopakyanena Udghatayati. Atra Kasyit. So we are now talking about somebody who is ridiculing all this, because there are so many people who ridicule our Vedanta, ridicule Vedanta proposition. Not only now, but even in those days, we see that people were there. Even now, we see people ridiculing our Siddhanta. Shandakopakyanena. In the books, they have given in many books, there is a print mistake. It is not Pandaka. The books say Pandaka. There is no word called Pandaka. I verified all the dictionaries. There is no word Pandaka. There is a word called Shanda. Of course, Shanda is a very common word. Shandaka. Shanda means a person who is an important person. Shandaka. So there is a story, not exactly a story, a small conversation between an important person and his wife, innocent wife rather. Shandakopakyanena udghatayati. Somebody ridicules this by giving an example of a Shandaka, a sort of an important person. Mugdhaya bharyaya abhidhiyate Shandakaha. So the Shandaka is being told, asked, abhidhiyate. Shandaka is being So here again, I should have added that word Shandaka, Shandaka, not Pandaka. Mugdhaya Bharyaya Abhidiyate Shandaka. This Shandaka is being asked by his wife, who is a Mugdha. Mugdha means a very innocent, bholi bhali, innocent woman. Aryaputra, oh my dear sir, because husband, wife in those days, they used to address, oh Aryaputra, oh revered sir, Aryaputra, Apatyavati me bhagini, kimartham nama na aham iti. Apatyavati me bhagini. My sister is Apatyavati. Apatya means children. Apatyavati means she is having children. Kimartham nama na aham. Kimartham aham na Apatyavati. That why is it that I am not Apatyavati? Why is it I don't have children? Iti. Satam aha. So he told her, Brutaste aham, Brutaha te aham, apatyam utpadayishyami. I will die and then I will beget children through you. Brutaha te aham apatyam utpadayishyami. I will die and then produce children with you. So then, that is what, I will beget you children after my death. Tatha idam vidyaman. Why, how is he comparing all this, relating this? Now he is saying this buddhi is there, that buddhi has attained that sattva purusha anyata khyati. When that buddhi is very much alive and then sattva purusha anyata khyati itself is there, why not moksha? Why not moksha? Why do you say that buddhi, after resolution of buddhi only it is called moksha? When it is alive, you are saying, and when it is having that knowledge also, that knowledge has to give you moksha. So, tatha idam, that is how he connects it. Tatha idam vidyamanam jnanam chittani vrittim na karoti. Knowledge, when it is existing, it does not cause resolution of buddhi. Chittani vrittim na karoti. Chittani vritti is that resolution of buddhi. Vinashtam kim karishyati. Then that when buddhi is destroyed, what is the hope that it causes resolution after that? Not resolution. Jnanam chitta. Yeah, nivritti only. It causes its resolution after it ceases. After the buddhi dies, then tatha idam vidyamanam jnanam chitta nivrittim na karoti. This, when knowledge is there, it is not causing the nivritti of buddhi. How will you say that it will cause that vinashtam after its death, after its disappearance, after the disappearance of buddhi also? So this question arises because we say that in the earlier sutra, that is the 23rd sutra, there was a particular line. Natra darshanam moksha karanam adarshana bhavadeva bandha bhavaha. We read this line. You can underline that line. Natra darshanam moksha karanam. In sutra number 23 only, there was one particular line saying that darshanam is not moksha karanam. Because we don't want to say that, here also there's this gentleman, Vachaspati Mishra, writes somewhere. Darshanam moksha karanam. Anyway, I'll explain. We don't want to say that darshanam or knowledge is cause for moksha. Because when you say that knowledge, moksha is something which is caused, our theory is moksha is not something which is caused, it becomes a karyam. Any karyam will be something which is ephemeral, which is impermanent. So moksha is not a karyam. Moksha is a thing which is always there. Moksha is not a karyam. You are only removing avidya, just as you remove roga. Health is a normal status. Health is a normal status, and removal of roga is what is needed. And health is not something which is achieved. Health is only something which is already always there. So you have to only realize it by removing that roga, by removing this avidya. So that is what we say. Because moksha, we say that it is neither apyam nor vikaryam nor samskaryam. All those things we say. So that is why I have given a note. When we say that knowledge is not the cause for liberation, because moksha becomes a karyam, but that it removes ignorance, and that is liberation. That removal of ignorance and removal of the buddhi is liberation. It is ridiculed by the skeptic. He says buddhi which could differentiate between itself and purusha could not produce kaivalyam while it existed. How can you say that it produces kaivalyam after its own death? After its own death, you are saying that it will produce kaivalyam. So that is the point. So tatra acharya deshiko bhakti. Not deshika, acharya deshiyo bhakti. Acharya deshiyaha. So there is a deshiyar pratyaya here. This deshiyar pratyaya, it means is almost equal to Acharya Deshiya, means almost equal to Acharya. That means any common teacher. Acharya Deshiya means somebody who is instead of saying somebody who is an imperfect Acharya or somebody who is yet to become an Acharya, not like that. Any Acharya, any ordinary Acharya. Tatra Acharya Deshiya, any ordinary teacher can reply for this. So he says, there is no need for you to ridicule. Even an ordinary teacher of Sankhya can answer you. So that is the tone. Acharya Deshiyo Vakti. Even an ordinary teacher can reply. Nanu buddhi nivrittireva moksha. Is it not that the buddhi, withdrawal of buddhi itself is liberation? Buddhi nivrittireva moksha. Withdrawal of that buddhi. Buddhi, disappearance of buddhi itself is moksha. And buddhi ceases when its cause, that ignorance has ceased. Adarshana karana bhavat buddhi nivrittihi. Adarshana karana bhavat buddhi nivrittihi. When that ignorance has gone, that buddhi, buddhi means the activity of the buddhi. When that ignorance has gone, buddhi has gone means it is not as though the person dies. It is not as though the person goes into a coma. Buddhi nivritti means it is not having all those raga, dvesha and all those things. Buddhi does not go into a coma. It does not have its normal features like kama, sankalpo, vichikitsa, dhrutihi, adhrutihi, all those common features. It doesn't have. Buddhi ceases where its cause, that ignorance has ceased. Then, the next line, Tatcha adarshanam bandhakaranam darshanat nivartate. So that Tatcha adarshanam, that adarshanam called ignorance, that is ignorance, bandhakaranam, which is the cause of bondage, darshanat nivartate. It retreats. Nivartate means it retreats because of darshanam, by correct knowledge. Is removed by knowledge, or retreats, we can say. Tatra chitta nivrittireva moksha. That is, in this context, chitta nivrittihi moksha. Moksha, knowledge is not the karanam for moksha, but chitta nivrittihi itself is moksha. That is like roga nivritti itself is moksha. That chittam, seeing all these things and having raga, dvesha, etc., all those things, they disappear. When all those things disappear and the chittam is absolutely, totally neutral to all things, that itself is moksha. Kimartham asthane evasya mati vibhramaha. Kimartham asthane means totally out of place. Asthane. When we say sthane, it means appropriate. It is a sort of adjective. It is a sort of avyaya. Sthane. Sthane means it is something which is appropriate. Sthane khalu tava prashnaha. Suppose I say, oh, your question is quite appropriate. So, kimartham asthane eva asya mati vibhramaha. Why this unnecessary confusion of mind? Asthane. Totally it is out of place. There is no need for that confusion of mind. Unnecessary delusion of mind. So here the subcommentators, VM, that is Vachaspati Mishra and others, point out that the higher dispassion, one more point is mentioned here. When you say that knowledge itself removes this, knowledge removes ajnana, and then immediately that buddhi nivritti, etc. We should not forget the role of para vairagya. So that is what these people, they write. Chitta nivritti. Yeah. This, for example, Vachaspati Mishra writes, paravairagyena jnana prasada matrena sasamskaram niruddham vinashtam karishyati. That is what he says. Paravairagyena jnana prasada matrena. That vairagya is very essential. We know that knowledge and vairagya, they have to go together. According to Viveka Chudamani also, it says, knowledge and vairagya bodhau purushasya pakshivat. They are two wings of the bird. So if vairagya is not there, or only knowledge is there, it doesn't give moksha. Only vairagya is there, it doesn't give moksha. Knowledge and vairagya have to go on reinforcing each other. So then only a person becomes mature in the jnana. So where is the need for unnecessary? They point out that higher dispassion, paravairagya. Paravairagya is one word which we came across in the same text earlier, in one of the earlier sutras, that paravairagyam, something like that. Vashikara sanya vairagyam, that vashikara sanya, that was the paravairagyam. Then described earlier is also a factor along with knowledge. Then next sutra is, heyam dukkham. Heya karanancha sanyogakyam sanimittam uktam. That is heyam dukkham. So what is the heyam? Heyam dukkham anagatam. There was some sutra. That is this grief or sorrow which is there, something what all sorrow we see is something which is avoidable. It is the foolishness of the mind. It is ignorance. So this sorrow or foolishness is something which is avoidable. So that is heyam dukkham. That dukkha, grief, which is the heyam, which is the avoidable. And heya karanancha sanyogakyam. Heya karanam. That is the cause for that heya. Cause for dukkha is samyoga. Cause for dukkha is sanyoga. And cause for realization also is sanyoga. Sanyogakyam, sanimittam, uktam. And what also? And also the reason for it. Reason. That is the sanyogakyam sanimittam. So the sanyoga is the nimitta. Sanyoga is the karana. So atah param hanam vaktavyam. Now that hanam is removal. Hanam, oh ha means just getting rid of. Removal of what? Removal of disease, removal of jwaram. Say roga nidanam, that is karanam. What is arogyam? And then again, chikitsa or bhaishajyam. Four points he said. So now he is telling about the third point. The one heyam has been told, heya karanam has been told, now hanam has to be told. Hanam is what exactly is that removal? So that has to be told. Hanam vaktavyam. Then what is that? Tadabhavat sanyoga bhavo hanam tad drushe kaivalyam. Tadabhavat, tasya abhavat. What is it? What abhavat? This somebody get call. Okay, keep it away. Tadabhavat sanyoga bhavaha tat drushehe kaivalyam. Tadabhavat. In the absence of that ignorance, because of on its absence, tadabhavat, on account of its absence, sanyoga abhavaha. Sanyoga, that contact will not be there. Sanyoga abhavaha. And that is what is hanam. Once that sanyoga abhava is there, that is the hanam. That leads to removal. Once that mind, that ignorance has gone, the mind is totally free of raga, dvesha, etc. And that itself is dukkha nivrutti. When you are having raga, dvesha, then there is dukkha. So when there is no raga, dvesha, etc., there is no dukkha. Sanyoga bhavaha, hanam, tat drushe kaivalyam. That is the kaivalya. That is the kaivalyam for the druk. So that is what it means. Druk means purusha. Then on its absence, the absence of contact results, and that is the removal of grief. And that is the liberation of the knower. Tadabhava sanyoga bhavaha hanam. Sanyoga bhava itself is hanam. And that is the removal of grief. And that is the liberation of the knower. Then we say on its absence. Oh, I have written twice. Okay. Once is good enough. On its absence, the contact ceases. And that is the removal of grief. And that is the liberation of the knower, Purusha. Tasya adarshanasya abhavat. Tasya adarshanasya abhavat. Because of the absence of that adarshanam, then buddhi purusha sanyoga bhavaha. Then there is no contact. The sanyoga between the buddhi and the purusha also disappears. Buddhi purusha sanyoga bhavaha means abhava, disappearance of the contact of buddhi and purusha. And that is the reason why atyantiko bandhano paramaha. Atyantika bandhano paramaha. Totally, absolute disconnect. Bandhana uparamaha. Bandhana uparamaha means absolute disconnect. Why this word absolute is there? So this Vachaspati Mishra points out that even at the time when, even in the pralaya state, buddhi is latent in pradhanam. There is no contact. There is no contact between this buddhi and purusha at that time. But then, when it again comes back to world, but then again it comes back to the world. So there is no atyantika dukkha nivrutti. Even when it is there in the pradhanam, it is again coming back and again having contact with the purusha. There is no question of atyantika dukkha nivrutti. So atyantika dukkha nivrutti happens only after the eradication of that adarshana, eradication of the ignorance. Eradication of grief. What is the word? Atyantiko sanyoga bhava tasya adarshanam. Eradication of grief is not grief. Eradication of ignorance. Tasya adarshanasya bhavat. That is when buddhi is latent in the pradhanam. Yeah, this is not the translation. I have given a note. This is a separate note. So this explanation for this is Adarshanasya bhavat, by the disappearance of that ignorance, this sanyoga bhava, sanyoga also goes, and that is the absolute disconnect. Atyantika bandhanoparam. Till that time, that bandha will be there. So long as there is ignorance, that bandha is very much there. Etad hanam. So that is actually the removal. Then tat drusheh kaivalyam. I have not given the translation because I didn't have time. Tat drusheh kaivalyam. That itself, that hanam or total removal of grief is something which is the kaivalyam. That is actual kevalasya bhavaha kaivalyam. That is Purusha stays alone. He is not in contact. He is not having contact with this prakriti. Tat drusheh kaivalyam. Purushasya amishri bhavaha पुनः असंयोगो गुणैः इत्यर्थः पुरुषस्य अमिश्री भावः. This purusha does not again get mixed up. Mishri bhava, it does not become a mishraji. So no mishri bhava. So he doesn't get mixed up with these gunas. पुनः असंयोगः गुणैः असंयोगः. There is no contact with the gunas. दुःख कारण निवृत्तौ Dukkhoparamo hanam. Dukkha karana nivruttau. When the karanam, the cause for this dukkha is removed, then dukkha uparamaha, absence of dukkha, the disappearance of dukkha, is what is called hanam. Dukkhoparamaha hanam. Then when the dukkha is gone, then what happens? Tada swarupa pratishtha purushaha ityuktam. Swarupa pratishtha. Tada drashtuhu swarupe avasthanam. So that is what we saw earlier in the second sutra or third sutra. Tada drashtuhu swarupe avasthanam. Swarupa pratishtha purushaha. That means Purusha is established in his own nature. That is absolutely no involvement with the Prakriti. It does not mean the man dies immediately. A realized person, he may be there, but then he is not having all this raga, dvesha, all those fluctuations of mind. They are absent. So the Purusha is said to abide in its own nature. Then the next sutra, Atha Hanasya Kah Praptyupayaha iti. Hanasya Kah Praptyupayaha. What is the upaya? What is the means? Upaya means. Upaya and upeya. Two words are there. Upaya means that is a means. Upeya means that is something we get, you attain. With that upaya is upeyam. So Praptyupayaha. Hanasya Praptyupayaha. What is the upaya? What is the means to attain this particular state of hanam? That is total removal of grief. What is that? Viveka khyati raviplava hanopayaha. Viveka khyati raviplava. So this aviplava is the adjective for the viveka khyati. Viveka khyati is the hanopaya. Kya dhatu means, what is the meaning of kya? Knowledge. Viveka khyati, the knowledge of viveka. Viveka means the prathak bhava, which is prathak bhava. The knowledge of the difference between Prakriti and Purusha, the differentiation of Prakriti and Purusha. And that has to be aviplava. It has to be very firm knowledge. It should not be something on a shaky ground. So a very firm knowledge which is not on a shaky ground. Viplava means, usually we use the word viplava to refer to some sort of social revolution. So viplava means something which floats away, something which is not stable. Plava dhatu. Navaha plavati. Plavati means it floats on water. So like that, floating. Floating means something, it has no weight, it doesn't have stability. So that is the meaning. Viveka khyatihi aviplava, Viveka khyati aviplava anopayaha. Aviplava viveka khyatihi. Aviplava is, as I said, adjective. So undisturbed, viveka khyati, undisturbed means sthuna nikhanana nyayam, we say sthuna nikhanana nyayam. So this is a word which is commonly used in Vedanta texts. That is, suppose if you are doing some tent pegging. When you are doing tent pegging, you put one peg, you need to drive a peg into the ground, and then you just to see whether it is very firmly there, very firmly set up, fixed there or not, you hold it and then try to shake it. When you can't shake it, it means that it is very firmly there. So if it is shaky, even the tent will fly away. So that is why you have to make it tight. That is sthuna nikhana, sthuna, the tent, that peg, you are shaking it. So like that. So it has to be something like that. Unperturbed knowledge of the discrimination of Prakriti and Purusha is the means for removal of grief. Hana upayaha. Hanasya upayaha. An undisturbed or firm knowledge of the discrimination of Prakriti and Purusha is the means for the removal of grief. Then sattva purushanyata pratyayo viveka khyatihi. Viveka khyatihi. Very clearly we have seen this word several times. Sattva purusha anyata. Sattva means buddhi. Purusha is purusha, that is intelligence. Anyata means otherness. Anya is other. Anyata, the otherness. Otherness means these two are totally distinct. The distinction, total otherness, let us say. This is not that, that is not this. Sattva purusha anyata pratyaya viveka khyatihi. Satu anivritta mithya jnana plavate. Satu, but if it is mithya jnana, it is also having some trace of mithya jnana. Anivritta mithya jnana means suppose that sort of khyati, it is still having some little bit of mithya jnana. Mithya jnana is not totally nivritta. It is still anivritta stage. Anivritta mithya jnana. Plavate means it just floats, means it is not very firm, it is ineffectual. It becomes ineffectual if the false knowledge is not fully rooted out. Anivritta mithya jnana plavate. Then yada mithya jnanam dagdha bija bhavam vandhya prasavam sampadyate. When this mithya jnana, this false knowledge, dagdha bija bhavam vandhya prasavam sampadyate, when it attains this particular stage, sampadyate means it comes to this stage. What is that stage? Dagdha bija bhavam. So that seed is totally dagdha, burnt out. When a seed is burnt or roasted, its potential is gone. Even if you keep it for 1 year, the seed is still having that potential. But once you roast it, its potential is gone. Dagdha bija bhavam. Vandhya prasavam. So it cannot reproduce. Vandhya is something which cannot reproduce. Vandhya prasavam. It cannot. Prasava is reproducing. So that reproduction is not there. Vandhya prasavam sampadyate. Tada vidhuta klesha rajasaha sattvasya. Vidhuta klesha rajasaha sattvasya. At that time of this sattva guna, which has totally shaken off, vidhuta, like avadhuta, dhunanam means just shaking off. Suppose there is a lot of dust on clothes. What do? The first thing you do is to shake it off. You just shake it off. That is the most primary level, and then probably we wash it to remove the other nicer traces. So like that, vidhuta klesha rajasaha. So vidhuta. So all this rajoguna is full of so many kleshas. And of course, we should take also tamoguna also. So rajas and tamoguna, all those traces, all that thing is shaken off, totally shaken off and washed also here. Vidhuta klesha rajasaha sattvasya. When that sattva is in that stage, pare vaisharadye, vaisharadyam. What is that? Clarity, great clarity of thought, great clarity in understanding. Vaisharadyam. We have seen this word earlier also, vaisharadyam. So in fact, this Vyasa is using the same words which are there in the sutras, the same Patanjali sutras. The same words he is also using. Pare vaisharadye. Parasyam vashikara sanyayam vartamanasya vashikara sanya vairagyam. This also we saw the same sutra language only. Vashikara sanyayam. It is absolutely, totally the absolute full vairagya. He has achieved that highest level of vairagya was called vashikara sanya. So then vashikara sanyayam vartamanasya, of such a person. Then Viveka pratyaya pravaha nirmalo bhavati. So that flow of viveka pratyaya, the flow of knowledge is so pure and clear. The flow of that knowledge, like we do nididhyasana. Suppose in that nididhyasana, suppose we have not yet done mananam properly, and it has not properly synced in our mind. Then that viveka khyati is not so nirmala. It is still having some little bit of doubts here and there, and then again we are susceptible to raga, dvesha and all that. So it is only when the mind is it has totally sorted out all these granthis. We talk about this Brahma Granthi, Vishnu Granthi, Rudra Granthi, Vivekini. What is that Rudra Granthi? Rudra Granthi is the final Granthi. What is that Granthi? Ahankara is said to be, Rudra is said to symbolize Ahankara. Of course, figuratively only. It does not mean that Rudra is a proud man and all that. In our build-up, psychological build-up, Ahankara is there. That Ahankara is said to be Rudra Granthi. So that is why we say even in our prayers, we say Namaste Rudra Manyava Uttavata Ishavena Haya. Oh, my dear sir, Don't show your anger on me means don't provoke anger in me. That is it. Don't show your anger means that gentleman is not showing any anger on me. Only I am showing anger on others. So that anger in us, it has to be subsided. So where all that prayer is only to see that our mind does not get into that mode of anger. So that is Rudra Granthi. So all these Granthis, they disappear. Viveka Pratyaya Pravaha. So that flow of that Viveka, it goes on, it is so clear. Pratyaya Pravaha. Nirmalo Bhavati. It is so pure. That pure Pravaha is there. Sa Viveka Khyatihi Aviplava Hanopayaha. Sa Viveka Khyatihi. That sort of understanding, that clear understanding. Aviplava. Sorry, I should not say Aviplava Hanopayaha. Aviplava Viveka Khyati. You see, Viveka Khyati Aviplava. I have to give a space. Hanopayaha. I should not say Aviplava Hanopayaha. Viveka Khyati Aviplava Hanopayaha, because Hanopaya is Pumlinga. Aviplava is Strilinga. I can't make this as adjective to this. Not only that, Aviplava Viveka Khyati is what is intended here. The totally undisturbed, very firm state of understanding is Hanopaya. It is the means for eradication of that dukkha. Then tato mithya-jnanasya dagdha-bija-bhavopagamaha punascha aprasavaha ityesha mokshasya margaha anasya upayaha iti. Tataha, so that is why, hence, mithya-jnanasya dagdha-bija-bhavopagamaha. So this mithya-jnanam has to become like a burnt seed. Dagdha-bija-bhavopagamaha. It has to attain the status of a burnt seed. Punascha aprasavaha. Again, it should not reproduce. Ityesha mokshasya marga. This is the mokshasya marga. He is not saying karana. Our people are very, very conscious of saying, very conscious. They don't say mokshasya karana. Because if you say mokshasya karana, moksha becomes a karya. Mokshasya marga. Margaha. Anasya upaya. That is the upaya. That is the means for eradicating dukkha. Then we come to the next sutra. Yeah, some more time. Tasya saptadha pranta bhumik prajna. Saptadha pranta bhumik prajna. For this word pranta bhumi also, what is the pranta bhumi? Actually, pranta bhumi. Some sort of border land, we say. The literal meaning is bhumi is some sort of border land. So Pakistan is that some line, some border line between India and Pakistan or India and China. That is the pranta bhumi, we say. So, but here pranta bhumi is Prakrustam Antam. So somewhere here it is mentioned. Let me read. Yeah. Vachaswat Mishra writes, Prakrushtah Antah Yasam Bhuminam Avasthanam Taha Tathoptaha. Prakrushtah Antah Yasam Bhuminam. Prakrushtah Antah. That is the highest end. Prakrushta means highest, isn't it? Prakrushtah Antah. Yasya Bhumeha Athava, that is Yasam Bhumina, that is for those bhumis, it is the highest level. That is the highest state of realization. Highest state of, I should not say intellect, I should say understanding. It is not an intellect, but it should be highest state of understanding. And that is sevenfold. Sevenfold means several types of, you see, in that realization at the stage of real, it is not 7 stages. Saptadha does not mean 7 stages because he is already in the highest state. In that highest state, again, there are no seven stages. In that highest state, there are 7 types of thoughts, 7 types of understanding. The Nididhyasana means a stream of thoughts. That Nididhyasana, that entire, the Shastra, the Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana is full of that flow of Vichara. So that Vichara Sagara, or Vichara flow of Vichara is there. So at that time, what is your awareness? What are the ideas? What are the thoughts? What are the resolutions? What are the ideas which can totally take a very firm shape in your mind? So that he is going to say those 7 types. The highest state of intellect or understanding of that realized person is 7-fold. Tasya iti pratyudita khyate pratyamaya. Tasya. For this tasya means what? It should not connect to the earlier sutra. Hanopaya, Viveka Khyatira Viplava, Hanopaya. Suppose you are reading only sutras. If you are reading only sutras, Viveka Khyatira Viplava, Hanopaya, Tasya Saptadha Pranta Bhumi Prajna, it does not refer to that Hanopaya. So that is why commentators very clearly say it does not connect to that Hanopaya. It connects to that realized person. Tasya iti pratyudita. What is this? Pratyudita khyate pratyamnaya. Pratyudita khyatihi. That means a person who in whose mind that udita. Udita means that khyati has arisen. In whose mind that khyati has arisen. Understanding has arisen. Pratyudita khyatihi. Pratyudita khyatehe is Shashti Ekavachanam. Tasya iti pratyudita khyatehe pratyamnaya. Pratyamnaya means paramasya. Because the context is, we are talking about a realized person. Pratyamnaya means aparamasya. That is the context. Saptadha iti ashuddhyavarana malapagamat chittasya pratyayantara anutpade sati sapta prakareva prajna vivekino bhavati. Sapta prakara is also saying sapta prakara, 7 types, 7 thoughts. So let us say 7 thoughts will come. Tasya saptadha iti ashuddhi avarana mala apagamat. Apagama means going away, disappearance. By the disappearance of this mala, mala means chitta malam, all the dirt of the mind. What is that? Ashuddhi avarana. That is sattva-guna, rajoguna, its causes and its effects. All that malam is gone from the mind. Then of that mind, chittasya pratyayantara anutpade, then there is no, whatever you see, samadukha sukhi, he is in that stage. Samadukha sukha shami, samadukha not sukhi, samadukha sukha shami, something like that. So when he is above all those things, when he has risen above all those realities, pratyayantara anutpade sati, pratyaya anutpade sati, when all those pratyayas, they disappear, raga, dvesha, etc., they disappear, sapta prakaraiva prajna vivekinaha bhavati. For that viveki, for that realized person, these seven types of understanding arises. Seven types of understanding. Should say arise or arises. This understanding, 7 types of understanding. Maybe I'll look into this line again. 7 types arise. What is that? I think time is over, only 2 minutes. We'll see it later. We'll see it tomorrow in the next class. We'll stop here, I think. Only 1 or 2 minutes, okay. Any questions, please?
Thank you, sir. I think there are no questions today.
Questions, then it's okay, fine.
Yeah.
You
Thank you, sir.
That's it.